Evening, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Media Live. So great to have you with us for this Thursday, the 14th day of January, the year 2021. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Oh, yes, indeed. As always, coming to you live and at you from the busy streets, which is Brooklyn, New York, as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. Well, we have a lot to discuss as far as the divisional round is concerned. We got 8 games coming, the final 8 of the NFL season, the best round of the best round of the playoffs by far, outside of the Super Bowl. You know, the division. Everybody loved this round, the division round, where the best teams will come through. The best teams will come through, and let's have fun at it. But before we go any further, before we even I know we gotta start with basketball, and boy, I tell you, the Nets made the playoffs after the Nets traded their whole staff to get James Harden. And if you're a Nets fan, no Nets fan, unless you're Evan Roberts, cannot be happy with this trade. Like, to me, this trade is mind-boggling. It's a 3-way trade. The Indiana Pacers, I don't know how many rounds, the 24th round, the 22 rounds. Victor is going to Houston from Indiana. You know, they have some players develop. But you traded all that for James Harden, who will play well in the regular season. But we have seen James Harden time and time again. When the stove gets too hot, that's when he get out of the kitchen. James Harden will not help you win a championship. And if you think that, well, first of all, the Nets have to get out of the first round. Let's say it like it is. The Nets have to get out of the first round first, which they haven't done since the Vince Carter, since 2008. They haven't got out of the first round since 2008. So the Nets, to do that, to get James Harden, to me, this was I don't know if I could call it a bad trade. I really don't know how, because you're going to have 3 guys who want the ball, who are ball hawks. Let's keep that in mind. Durant is a ball hawk. He's going to want the ball in the last minute. Kyrie Irving even though Kyrie Irving has a player a lot, he want the ball in the last minute. And now James Harden want the ball in the last minute. Oh, and let's not forget, we have a unexperienced head coach of Steve Nash. How's Steve Nash going to handle it? This is going to be tremendous pressure on Steve Nash, and I want to see how he's going to handle it. Okay? And DeAndre Jordan is going to have to play 30 minutes a game. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't watched the Nets. I haven't watched the Nets yet, but I saw them against the Knicks, and they look impressive. But then again, you're playing the Knicks, so let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy over here. But Kevin Durant has been great. Average over 30 points a game. You know, He did it again against the Knicks. That's what Kevin Durant is going to do. He's going to give you. Kevin Durant is going to ball. But if you think Nets, if you think you're going to win a championship with James Harden, I got news for you. When things get tough, James Harden folds. He folds. So let's keep that in that regard. And but furthermore, this is like Sean King this is like Sean King all over again. If you're on the Nets. Give up a draft pick, give up a more draft pick to get a big star. Give up a draft. We've seen this story before. And usually don't end too well in the NBA. Y'all remember once upon a time Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett came to the Nets? How that worked out? But we shall see. And as far as the Steelers, damn. Let's get to the NFL. Let's go back to super wild card weekend. Now, to me, as far as the games, this wild card game, these wild card games, honestly, was pretty much a board fest, except for Tennessee and Baltimore. Even though a lot of people, unless you're ESPN, who are killing Mike Vrabel for not going for it on 4th and 2, which come on. It was 17-13. I get why you would be upset to go for it, but to me, blame the defense. He should have gone. I don't know how to feel. Honestly, I feel at the time, I feel like Mike Vrabel did the right thing. But let's face it, the defense is what lost the game. It's not because of Mike Vrabel's decision. Because even if, listen, because the Titans could have survived that game. Remember, it was 17-13, and it was too early, in my opinion, to go for it. It really is. It was a tight game. It was a tight game until Lamar Jackson broke the game wide open with that run. And how about Lamar Jackson needed that game in the worst way, and getting revenge from Tennessee after last year, so. Kudos to the Ravens, which I never thought I was going to say. And now they go to Buffalo, which is going to be a tight game. And how about the Cleveland Browns? Well, thanks to the help to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What the hell happened? First play of scrimmage? A wild pitch? Way back? And you mean to tell me James Conner or Ben Roethlisberger couldn't just fall on it? Even though they'll be out the one line, but they could have fallen on it? And Cleveland defense first scored the game, touchdown, and the rest is history. Even though the Steelers tried to make a comeback, but it was domination from Cleveland from it went from 7-0 to 28-0 in the first half, just like that. And I was like, whoa. That came out of nowhere. And kudos to Cleveland. Cleveland has arrived, folks. Cleveland has arrived. As for the Steelers, I guess it's pretty safe to say that the honeymoon is over. Because unless they do something, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how Pittsburgh come back. Because for a team who won 11 in a row and to win 11-0 and to lose the way they did, folks, there was 1-5 in the last 6 games. After Thanksgiving, this was not the same Steelers team in the last 10 games, which is scary. But it's time to shake something because the Steelers haven't looked the same. The Rams and the Seahawks, the Rams flex their defense from top to bottom. The Rams show you why they had the number one defense. They didn't need Goff to win the game. They really didn't. But Goff came in anyway because the quarterback who took Goff's place got knocked out of the game. Go figure. And Wilson have no answers. No answers for the Rams. No answers. And the best game of that whole, and finally, the best game out of that whole day in the Super Wild Card weekend was the Indianapolis Buffalo. The best game in that whole wild card. The best game. Indianapolis could have sent it to overtime, but Philip Rivers could have found nobody if his life was dependent on it. And Philip Rivers, for a guy who's been in the league for a very long time, don't really do nothing. And he talks a lot too. He talks a lot, but he don't do nothing. He's supposed to be don't get me wrong. He's going to be a Hall of Fame. He's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he has not proven to be worthy of a search, which is real crazy, But anyway, I think I got through the wild card. I think I went down every wild card. Well, enough with that. Let's move on to the division. Let's move on to the divisional round, because that's what's coming up this weekend. The final Saturday of the final football of Saturday, literally, of course, will be the NFL divisional playoff game, and it's going to be the Packers and the Rams, and this is going to be Aaron Rodgers' toughest task. Because I think this is going to be all. And Aaron Rodgers barely threw interceptions, especially at home. And I think if Aaron Rodgers going to get back to the Super Bowl, I think, even though he's going to get rid of the ball quickly, the receivers got to help him out. The running game guys got to help out Aaron Rodgers, because if Aaron Rodgers don't get help, no matter how cold it is, the Packers will going to be a lot of trouble. Because the Rams are a very good defensive team, very good. Even though they lost to the Jets, they are a very good defensive team, very good, very, very good. So I'm going to pick the Packers, because the Packers are for the most part, very good. Even though they have losses in the 2000s, they still having losses in the 2000s. I think the Packers will be in the NFC Championship game once again. I really believe that. And as for the Saints and the Buccaneers,